Welcome back to SoulFull Wellness.
I'm Kaelynn, the millennial, the one who always has a crystal in her pocket.
And I'm Kit, the Gen Xer, who you'll find outside, usually getting dirty in one of my various activities.
In addition to being certified coaches, we're also functional imperfectionists. But most importantly, we remember what it's like to feel perpetually unwell in your body, mind, and relationships.
That's why we bring you the most cutting-edge tips, practical guidance, and, of course, our deep, dark, and usually entertaining secrets, so you can heal yourself and live the life you want.
Welcome to SoulFull Wellness. While there are benefits to being an optimist, of course, and engaging in positive thinking, toxic positivity instead rejects difficult emotions in favor of a cheerful and often falsely positive facade. Toxic positivity takes positive thinking to an overgeneralized extreme. It's the belief that no matter how dire or difficult a situation is, people should maintain a positive mindset. It's a good vibes only approach to life.
We all know that having a positive outlook on life is good for your mental well-being. The problem is that life isn't always positive. We all deal with painful emotions and experiences. Those emotions, while often unpleasant, are important and need to be felt and dealt with openly and honestly.
Today's episode, as we're sure you have guessed, is all about toxic positivity. What does it mean? What is it about? How can we navigate it when other people are exhibiting this or practicing this habit? How can we learn to avoid toxic positivity so that way we can be there for our friends and family, show up authentically, and be the best support system we can?
So today's episode is all about valuing the individual, becoming comfortable with negative emotions, and we're going to wrap up by telling you what it is you can do to promote your personal well-being and the well-being of people you love and care about.
You guys know that we're obviously about maintaining a positive outlook on life and always trying to strive to improve and to support and to infuse love and light and peace into all we do. But with that being said, this is such an important topic because toxic positivity is running rampant, especially in social media, all over the internet. So we want to make sure that you're equipped with the right tools to be able to recognize it, to be able to overcome it, and to not practice it, and to be able to process emotions and help be a good sounding board for people in your life who are trying to process difficult emotions. Because as we know, like life just isn't always positive, obviously.
There needs to be some happy ground. Maybe I'll get away from happy even. There needs to be some middle ground between la, 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 no bad days. Almost like an ostrich with his head buried in the sand. It's like, don't see, don't hear, don't know about anything other than the negative. Okay, that's so extreme. And then I guess the other end of the spectrum is Eeyore.
I was just thinking, it's totally Eeyore.
The Debbie Downer.
Sorry, Eeyore, you're always making that ball.
I know, and everybody does love Eeyore, but you feel bad for him. You don't want to pick him as your buddy. You just want to hug
He's not
him
a role model.
Take care of him.
Yeah.
We need to find some working middle ground. When it's our bad day, somebody isn't saying, no bad days. And you're thinking, wait, I'm a human being. I have a right to a bad day. Bad days happen.
Yeah.
You want to be heard on those bad days to help process the emotions, let out what's bugging you. It helps to share it. And if everyone in your circle is saying, oh, come on, no bad vibes, and dismissive of what's going on with you, this is only enhanced when there's something hard in your life.
Yeah.
I have a coworker who's going through a particularly hard time. She just lost her father. Her mother passed almost a year ago. It's been a hard year for her. She's really suffering, and it hurts to see her suffering. I'll get into later. I don't want to skip to the end of the podcast quite yet, but I'm going to share what I've discovered through daily conversations with her seems to be the best course of action. Stay tuned for that.
And often toxic positivity is well-intentioned. It's just in disguise. You know, someone may be trying to uplift you, make you feel better, or take the pain away. But ultimately, no one can take our pain away. And we need to realize that about other people. As much as we love someone who's going through an intense, difficult time, we can't take that pain away. And that sucks. And we need to accept that. And we need to be able to hold space, because ultimately holding space for someone else, a coaching secret, a coaching tool, is going to help your loved one in the long run so much more than trying to somehow like try to uplift them or hold them up. Sometimes they just need to fall apart, and you need to say, that's okay. And I got your back.
And be the space, the safe space for them. And collect all the pieces for them and let them put the pieces back together for themselves.
Sometimes the simplest thing is being like, oh, I'm so sorry, that sucks. Like a simple, quick sentence like that can really help someone process their emotions. Like, thank you. You know what? It does suck. And obviously there's a difference between wallowing in it and being super negative and rolling around in the dirt and in the mud and in the muck and then staying in the negative and dwelling and all of those nasty feelings.
This is very hard for fixers.
Oh,
People who want to be the one to fix everything for people, especially the people you really deeply care about. It's too hard to see them suffering. So you're trying to make everything better for everyone, and you can't. It's impossible. And sometimes people aren't ready for things to be fixed. They've got to get themselves to that place. They've got to work through the pain and work through whatever's wrong. That takes time. When you go through something hard, as much as you want in that moment to fast forward to the part where you're feeling better, living through that is your only option. So when people are saying things like, oh, everything happens for a reason, that's not helpful and actually even more upsetting for a lot of people.
Kit, you called me out, and that's okay. And that's good. As a fixer, I have to share that knowing that you are a fixer, first of all, awareness is always the first step. So understanding, okay, you know what? I am a fixer. I've noticed that about myself. I just want to make it better for them. I love them. I'm coming from a good place. Okay, cool. Step one. Step two is being able to sort of intercept those knee-jerk reactions to want to fix, to want to make them feel better, to want to say the right thing or help out to where it makes them feel better. Being aware that isn't actually going to help them, but what will help them is holding space and just showing up and being there. It's a lot simpler than we make it seem.
That's why a lot of people offer those verbal platitudes. They want to say the right thing. They want to be the person who says the thing that makes a difference, who makes somebody feel better. There often is no right thing to say. There is no magic combination of words that's going to make the situation, honestly, any different, not to mention any better. And that's where maybe not trying to find the magic combination of words. It lets you off the hook a little bit. If you can understand the onus isn't on you, that's not your responsibility, and it's not even what the person's asking of you. The person's just asking you to be there, to let them know you're there, to be the safe landing space, to listen when they want to talk, to hug them when they need to be held. It's really up to the person who's suffering.
And ultimately, although it's coming from a good place, you're really stealing their thunder. You're really actually like taking something from them by trying to essentially make them feel comfortable. Let's say that's where the motivation is coming from. You're really minimizing their feelings and not allowing space for them to process the negative emotions that are coming up.
It's invalidating, and it can be incredibly minimizing of someone's experience, of someone's emotions. They need to feel those emotions.
Well, good vibes only is coming from a good place. And I suspect was born from a person or a group of people who were just dealing with too much negativity and too many toxic people and too many people with a lot of negative emotions just seeping out.
Oh, are you saying it's boundary setting? It's like someone's self-protective mechanism.
Yes, definitely.
Saying this is where I draw the line.
Good vibes
like
only.
I need to protect myself at this point. Ah, I see.
Like I truly think it was born of something good, of someone trying to stop a cycle of negativity, whether it's in a friend group or a generation or a family or whatever. But ultimately, we want to make it known that like good vibes only is not a healthy saying.
Yes.
Because sometimes life isn't always good.
The way I see it is the people who say good vibes only, no bad days, seem to be lacking a bit of emotional maturity. I'm trying to say that in a not judgy way because they should be who they are and they should do what works for them. But I think at my age and having taken some hits in life, that if you can say no bad days, you maybe haven't been through one of those really deep life experiences that forces you to realize bad days aren't that bad. Having a bad day, not my first choice, but can I deal with it? Yeah. Do I deal with it? Definitely. And then I go to bed and I wake up the next day and it's a new day and I move on.
Amen. And I share this in case that it's helpful to you listening. I had a therapist once tell me, you know what? Sometimes you wake up and your brain chemistry just is the way it is. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your brain. You just woke up. It's sort of a testament to the phrase, but ultimately, like, it really, it made me feel a lot better knowing, like, you know what? Sometimes you wake up and your brain chemistry just isn't feeling it. Like, not every day is going to be a good day. And that's kind of the beauty of life. We can appreciate the good days even more. And it's so okay to not have a good day.
What do people want when they're feeling down, when they're angry or they're frustrated or they're sad or wronged or just someone's having one of those days? What can my fixer friends do? You can be the safe space. You can be the listening ear. You don't have to say much of anything, honestly. You can just be a presence. So I'm going to go back to my story at the beginning about my coworker who's having a tough time. And this has been going on for a couple weeks now. And I tried to say helpful things in the beginning. And I tried to tell her, you know, while acknowledging her experience and the validity of it, assuring her that it won't always feel like this. And I realized that was in vain. That's not what she needed to hear. I don't think she was hearing it anyway, and she certainly wasn't internalizing it. So I really stopped saying anything. I just listen and make eye contact and repeat back to her a little bit of what I hear, you know, the coaching techniques of, it sounds like you feel. And she kind of looks at me sad and nods, but you can tell she feels assured that she is getting through to someone, that someone understands her experience in that moment. and she doesn't want me to fix it. And she doesn't even want me to change it. She just wants to be able to let some of those bad feelings inside out. Don't work so hard to try to come up with all the right things to say or do. Just be there.
That's such a relief.
It is. It really is. It's not as easy to do as it sounds like either. But if you can remind yourself it's all that's needed, it is such a relief.
Well, it wouldn't be a SoulFull episode without the occasional Brené Brown quote, which I must share.
Please do.
All right. She says, rarely can a response make something better. It's a connection that can make something better.
Just connecting with each other, not fixing each other.
All right. So when it comes to yourself and your inner dialogue, when you're going through a tough time or you're just having a hormonal spike, retweet, experienced that earlier, where you're just in a funk, how can you manage your emotions? All right. If negative emotions are coming up and you're spiralizing, don't deny them. Leave room for them. Sit with them, greet them, even if you don't like them and it's unfortunate. At least hold space. Then you can be realistic about what you're feeling and how you're reacting, which is ultimately going to let you move through it, not past it or around it, but through it, because there's no way out but through. And please acknowledge that it's okay to feel more than one thing. I was talking to someone tonight. I was at a dinner party and I was asking her what it felt like to become an almost empty nester within a month. And she was like, you know what? I feel so sad and I feel so excited for my husband and I that we get to have all this time to ourselves. But I'm also so sad. And the experience, the human experience of feeling conflicting emotions at the same time is real. So please know that if you're feeling multiple emotions at once, it's normal and it's okay.
I get how that can be confusing. Those are two disparate emotions. To say, I'm sad, my kids are leaving, I'm feeling nostalgic about it, I know I'm going to miss them, but then to also acknowledge, and I'm a little excited about having my relationship with my husband back, just the two of us, and the possibilities of all that time and freedom. And he's like, what's up with me? What am I? Am I happy? Am I sad? But no, you're human. That's all you are. You're human.
You're both.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so what does it look like when someone's kind of exhibiting? That's
if you're really fancy and you exhibit. You exhibit.
What happens if someone is exhibiting?
No, you can't not say.
Exhibiting toxic positivity towards you. And you're just trying to get through and vent or express to your good friend that you're having a hard time. I think just walk away.
Call someone else. Based on what you said earlier, Kaelynn, I never thought of framing it this way. If someone is exhibiting those good vibes only, everything happens for a reason, God has a plan for you, when you're like, no, I don't think you're listening to me, I'm now going to interpret it as you are setting healthy personal boundaries for yourself. And what you're telling me is that you can't take this on right now. And I, in turn, will be respectful of that. And I'm going to find someone else to be my trusted space holding outlet. And I am not going to stop being friends with you over this, probably, speaking for myself here. We can both respect each other's needs, but right now I need a different kind of friend, so I'm going to go call someone else.
Amen. Mic drop right there.
Yeah. That was sort of a borderline toxic positive response, because I'm saying you do you and you disappointed me, but I'm not going to fault you for it. But that's
I'm totally fine. Yeah.
You can only give what you have space to receive. And if somebody's telling me, they can't hold that weight for me right now. I can't throw it at them anyway. I got to walk away with my weight and find somewhere else to set it down. How's that for an extended metaphor?
I'm mind blown, kid.
It's later than we usually record.
Guys,
so
we're recording at midnight tonight. Yeah. But we hope whatever time of day it is that you're listening to this, that you learned a couple tools.
And it still makes sense.
And it makes sense, and you had some fun with us. We know we had some fun. We love you so much.
We really do.
Please don't forget to email us at sfowpodcast@gmail.com with your suggestions and your feedback. And don't forget to share this podcast with a friend who you would think could benefit from learning a little bit about toxic positivity.
Please hit that 5th star and write a short review of this podcast. It would mean a lot to us, and it would help other listeners find SoulFull Wellness. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening. We really do love you. Peace, love, and light.
Peace, love, and light.
The SoulFull Wellness hosts are certified health and wellness coaches. This podcast is intended to inform and entertain listeners on their wellness journey. This podcast is meant to enhance, not replace, listeners' care from doctors, therapists, or other medical providers.